ladies and gentlemen, I know we've got Julio and Alex coming in from the Contrarians in just a moment here. But let me get over to some things here on the stream here, because we're pushing the goal line, ladies and gentlemen. We're officially pushing the goal line. And I was just grabbing all three, Gerald. I was just doing.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
I won. Here comes the money.
Another $100 donations from Hook My over in the chat. Give me spicy jerky. We've got shots to do. We've got spicy jerky to do. We've got so much different stuff to do here, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got Julio from the Contrarians coming in here. And we've got Alex from the Contrarians coming in here. But I'm going to, first of all, we need to draw the prize here. The soap. Guys, the soap. This Crate 61 vegan, hand-cut, organic soaps. Everybody that has donated since, what was 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock, I think 2 hours is what I did for this. Yep, 2 o'clock. These are going up for a prize right now, so let me go ahead and roll the drums here first. There we go. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Esquivel, Justin's own mother-in-law. She lives
That's
like
right.
a mile down the street from me. So, Lynn, congratulations. You have won these vegan, organic, handcrafted soaps.
She'll love them, dude. She'll absolutely love those.
And I will definitely give her the women's set, which means, Alan, you're getting the men's set, even though you didn't pick one earlier. All right. So, okay. There we go. Thank you, everyone who donated during... Holy... Justin, we're at fucking $10,400,
Dude, so I have some behind-the-scenes information here. My mother-in-law wanted to wait until we were exactly 200 away from the $10,000. She went in to go enter the information to put in the donation, and we had already surpassed $10,000. That just goes to show the amount of amazing support you guys have put into this event. And Nick, for all of your effort, I literally started to have a tear drop from my eye when I was sitting here watching. You know, knowing she was going to put in the last 200 we needed to hit our initial goal. And it was such an amazing feeling. And watching it on air actually happen and your reaction to it, there's nothing better than that, man. I'm so humbled and so appreciative of every single person that put any amount of effort or time or support into this event.
So we are resetting the goal, ladies and gentlemen. We are pushing the goal line further. You notice, where'd that donation tracker go, ladies and gentlemen? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are pushing to $12,000 for a future immune to cancer. We've got so much more amazing content coming up here. Gerald, can you please stick this over there for me? Are you still in the green room with Julio?
What's that?
Are you still in the green room with Julio?
Yeah, they're like waiting.
Tell him to get the fuck out of there. God damn it, Julio. It's safe. Did you just tell him it's safe here?
It's safe here.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Drew Hallum of the Real Feels podcast. We are also, I don't know if Paul Chomo is still out there and he hears us, but if Paul Chomo is out there and he wants to do more Skull, if he wants to do more Skull vodka, please head over here and we are happy to help you. And believe gentlemen in the house here, my boys here, Dan and Caleb, fuck. Guys, my brain is fucking broken. Fuck y'all.
Dude,
Dan and
you don't
Gerald.
even have to explain. You don't have
So
to
many
explain
Dan
people.
and Gerald, in the house here, we owe everybody some jerky, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, it's time to play the greatest sound drop and scene transition of all time. There it is.
My God.
That's the
there he
hottest
is.
jerky from Carnivore Candy. Yeah, Julio, I know you're excited to see that. Don't even pretend like you're not. I already know you're super excited. Don't even pretend like you're not.
I just want to hear the crunch.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled. We are absolutely thrilled to be joined by, you know what? And I will say it plain and simple. One of my favorite people in the entire world, Julio from the Contrarians, and Alex from the Contrarians. Your oh my guys.
Here we go.
Here comes the money.
Just breathe, dude.
$100 donation from Alan from those nerds over there. We just wrapped up the
Aw.
game Tabletop Simulator with him. Thank you. I'm fucking blown
Hell
away.
yeah.
I'm fucking blown away by this, dude. I'm like, seriously, I can't even imagine it. Alex, I don't get to talk to, unfortunately, very much. I get to talk to Julio way more. You know
Too
what?
much, it could be argued.
Julio hogs me away from you. He tries to keep me away from you, Alex. He's mean, and I don't like it. And Dan is chatting over in the chat. That was funny. I saw that chat message pop up there. But before we go anywhere else, who the hell let him in here? God damn.
The sauce
The
is
sauce,
boss.
ladies and gentlemen. The god of podcasting himself.
People want the sauce.
There it is.
I wanted to be here for this momentous occasion. I know it's already been said countless times, but thank you, everyone. Thank you.
It's insane. It's insane
awesome.
to imagine. Dan's already got the Insanity Jerky. He's working on the Insanity Jerky, and we have Drew Hallum in here. Drew is going to do his 10th shot of moonshine, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if anything else, guys, this whole weekend, this whole event, this whole live stream for the Cure, we're just destroying Drew Hallum's liver. I mean, is that can we get the hashtag Drew's liver or hashtag Rip Drew's liver, RIP Drew's liver over in the chat, please? Because I feel it's apropos.
It's
I
worth
feel
it.
like
It's
we
worth
need
it.
over there. Oh, my God.
Luckily, it's been spaced out.
My God in heaven. I like legitimately, guys, like I'm blown away. Like I can't even form words to express my gratitude and just like the amazing
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Salzik with a $50 donations. Thank you, Sal. Thank you very much again to those nerds over there. That was a wonderful game. That was such a fun segment. And man, now at least with the card game, I've at least got a blueprint for going forward. What to not look for and not look for in the world of dating. So without further ado, Mr. Drew Hallum, how are you, my friend?
I'm good.
My brother. Now, you understand, Drew, and I do understand we're putting you on the spot here, but you do understand that with pushing the dono goal higher, that means we're also pushing your liver higher with more moonshine when we hit 11 and 12K. You get this, right?
Hey, I didn't put a limit. I said every $1,000.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If we can raise another like $10,000 today, we're literally going to kill him.
Some of that money will go towards Drew's hospital expenses.
Exactly.
I'll have to go get another bottle of something.
Oh my lord! So without further ado, Drew, if you are ready, my friend, I'm going to roll the drums here for you.
And it's a $10,000, so we're just gonna go straight from the bottle.
Ooh, baby, here
Hell
we
yeah.
go. Drum roll it. What a fucking champion! Jesus God, I love this man.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Drew. Thank you so much, Drew Hallum. And yep, the chat is all over it. Hashtag RIP Drew's liver. Let's see. We can come on at 8 and do shots too, Nick, because we are going to smash this 12K goal. Trish and Shauna, I'm holding you to that. Two girls on the bench. I'm holding you to that.
I'm gonna be there.
Literally every $1,000, and I will put the challenge out there. This room can hold 12 people. We will get as many people in as want to do shots every $1,000 as possible. I don't care.
Dude, I literally left and went and got a bottle of vodka just because I knew we were going to hit that goal and that I would need something to do each time we hit our new goal that we were going to set.
I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. So Drew Hallum, again, my brother, thank you so much for being a soldier, and he's such a huge presence over in this chat. I love you. We'll see you at 11K, which is only $450 away, my friend.
It's so close.
It's so close. We will see you soon, my brother.
All right.
So now, without further ado, and you know what, the whole event's running. It's so weird this year. You know, you guys had the unfortunate pleasure of running in on us when you know, we hit $10,000, and we still owe Jerky. We still owe the Insanity Jerky. We've got to get that into our bellies here. But Julio, Alex, welcome to the live stream for the Cure. Please tell our audience what the Contrarians podcast is all about.
Well, for the next hour or so, it's just gravy now, right? So the pressure's off, like somebody said. we don't have to worry about anything.
I mean, listen,
maybe
guys, the pressure's still on because I want to make Drew drink more. So
different kind of pressure.
different kind of
that's
pressure.
Fine. All right, Contrarians, most of you hopefully know, and if not, we can give you the lowdown really
Gonna
quick.
get educated.
We are Rotten Tomatoes based. That's our crusade against the Rotten Tomatoes machine. So we will take a movie that's rotten according to the Rotten Tomatoes standard, 40%, 30% on lower, and we'll argue about why it's a great movie. Or conversely, we'll grab a movie that's fresh, 90% or over, and we'll argue about why it's not a fresh movie. It's actually a terrible movie. We'll do that for the first half of the show. Second half of the show, we tell you how we really feel. That's what we call real talk. First half of Contrarians Corner. We're going to do something similar this time. Obviously, it's a condensed format, especially because we have so many people here. And I know at least 2 of you have seen the movie. Well, 3 counting Alex. 4
all of us
myself.
in-house have seen the movie.
Yeah, everyone
God,
here
that
saw
must
it.
have been awkward. How close were you sitting to each other?
I was
Those-
jerking it.
Gerald had his hand on my lap the entire time.
Dan was looking real good during that first sex scene.
I was jerking it.
Well,
It was the first sex scene where you see Billy Baldwin spread eagle. Like there's like a shot of his
That's why I
asshole
was
in this
jerking.
movie.
Straight up.
Oh, okay.
And he's got
Yeah,
he's
there
got
was.
a hairy ass crack, ladies and gentlemen. That is a
He does.
wild forest of an ass crack.
He
listen,
couldn't
no
even
judgment.
like wax it for this. It was. I mean, no wonder or no. I'm curious now what Behringer was packing. We saw all of Billy Baldwin. It would have been fitting if Behringer just had like a pristine waxed asshole.
It would go in with his character. Just the creepiest
Just an
people
uber
have the
creep.
nicest looking assholes. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not jump to the assholes yet. That's
Not
that
time
comes
to
in
talk
later.
about assholes yet.
Yeah, we gotta build up.
We'll
to
wait
that.
till they eat their jerky before we get into asshole discussion.
Yes. Are you doing the jerky now, or are you doing the jerky when we're giving our real feelings? What's the plan there?
Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is again from Carnivore Candy. Shout out to Jade and the entire Carnivore Candy crew. Again, they sent me legitimately a boatload of jerky for free when they found out we were doing this challenge. And this is their hottest jerky that they sell. This is Insanity Jerky. Hook my $100 donation, a promise to match in style. We're at $10,650, guys. So to all of us here in the EFG Studios North, God bless our tongues and our assholes because they're about to burn. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your amazing work. Down the hatch, boys. Let's go.
Oof.
Oh, it's already hot.
Chew, chew,
It's already
chew,
hot.
chew, chew, chew. Get it
Although-
down, Gerald.
The last one almost killed Gerald. So
It almost, yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
He was crying 3 seconds in.
So anyway, Billy Baldwin's chili ring.
So Alex and I had planned this sort of like tiered goal thing, but I mean we're already like 250 donations in $250
awesome.
in donations. Yeah, so I guess we can forego that. Actually, let's just start counting from here. We're talking about doing special bonus episodes
I
depending on
hear Dan
whether we hit
hiccuping.
certain things.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys okay?
Are you-
I feel
are you gonna make it, Dan?
I'm dying.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
You're fine?
Oh, yeah. This is great.
One of you looks like it's sweating a lot.
Dan's got his game face on.
I am crying, though.
It's hot.
Dude, it looks like around your eyes it's starting to get red. I can actually see it.
It hurts.
It's hot, boys.
I gotta wash my hands.
I can see why they named it.
Man down.
Oh God.
I
Wash
can
your hands
almost
before you
feel
go to the
myself
bathroom.
I can almost feel myself getting hot flashes just from your guys' facial expressions.
Where's that whipped cream at?
So I didn't make any. It's still getting hotter.
Julio,
All right.
This is gonna be
So
Nick, we don't
What,
want you to
talking
die
about
right
Sliver? Yes, talking about Sliver is going to be very difficult.
I feel it's appropriate to talk about
yes.
how hot and steamy the sex is in Sliver, with me sweating this profusely.
I mean, you're
great.
sweating more than Billy Baldwin in that movie. So,
It's
So let's keep
close,
it going.
Julio.
all right,
They,
all right.
Well, I was about to say let's keep the money going. They pushed the goals to 12,000, and Julio came up with the idea for our segment here about donations and whatnot. Julio, run down the
Okay, so
the
for all you
proposed
current listeners
idea
and
from your crazy Peruvian mind.
future listeners, just to keep with the theme of Sliver and 90s sexy stuff. So we have 4 tiers. And honestly, the way you guys are donating, we'll probably hit all 4. But if not, that's fine. If we do $50, we're gonna do a bonus episode on Jade, that really, really sexy movie with Linda Fiorentino and Chaz Palminteri. So that's an odd couple.
David Caruso.
David Caruso, yeah. Also written, I want to say it's also written by the mastermind behind Sliver and Basic Instinct, Joe. I can't pronounce his last name. Cerdes. If we hit $100 in Decent Proposal, Woody Harrelson, Demi Moore, and Robert Redford. If we hit 150, Showgirls, which I've never seen. Pretty sure Alex has.
I gave a $5
Blu-ray.
donation because I want your notebook, Julio.
I'm gonna have to have somebody to keep track of it because I thought I could look at the donations here, but I can't. And then finally, if we hit $200, we are gonna do Crash, which I want to say, is it 90s, Alex, or is it 2000s? Crash, the sexy
90s.
one, not the racially charged one, but the sexy one.
I was about to say we should have prefaced that. Not the sexy, racially insensitive to the subject here. So
yes, James Spader, not Matt Dillon. All right, okay, that out of the way. Let's get into Contrarians Corner for Sliver.
Did you already give the rundown on the Blu-ray that we're giving away?
Oh, Dan distracted me. Also, every $5 that you donate, you get a raffle ticket. This is much like what Gerald did yesterday. Every $5 gets you a raffle ticket, and the raffle ticket means that you can win a Blu-ray of Sliver, the movie we're talking about today, and also my Contrarians notebook, full of Contrarians notes. I wish I could say that it's the entirety of a run, but no, it's from our Glow episode all the way to our Sliver episode. And also, the very last page is a list of people that were invited to my wedding reception, but we'll take that off.
You're going to say a list of people you wanted to kill. I was going to be like, so Sliver, yeah, just want to get into it? The erotic thriller?
Yes. Tell us what it's about for the few people that haven't seen it.
So May 21st, 1993, we were a new country with Bill Clinton taking office, and another Bill came into our lives in the form of Billy Baldwin here. I don't know. According to Wikipedia, it's an erotic thriller based on a novel that its introduction is that its main claim to fame was the battles it went through to get taken down from NC-17 to R. But it's your typical 90s sexy Sharon Stone.
I disagree already, but okay.
Misunderstood, I think, romantic comedy in many ways.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I appreciate about Sliver and Sharon Stone in particular is that she's so much more vulnerable in this movie. I think that generally we see her as a sort of femme fatale or just somebody, the kind of woman that's very intimidating because she's just so forward and she's so sexually forward. But in this movie, she plays the opposite. She's actually kind of shy. She seems to have she seems to be very self-conscious about her body. She doesn't know how to handle these two guys that are going after her. So
She
that
likes
alone,
Pearl Jam.
She likes Pearl Jam. She has really lame friends. So that alone like sets it apart from your standard, I think, Sharon Stone sexy thriller. But that's not all. I mean, this is just there's a murder, there's a mystery, there's voyeurism.
There's Academy Award winner Martin Landau.
Yes, just adding some class to the proceedings. Yeah, and there's basically a love triangle. It's like Sharon Stone, Tom Berenger, and William Baldwin. I would like to call him the relatable Baldwin.
Would it be a stretch to call this the sexy Truman Show?
Yes. I think that basically
I thought
Billy
this
Baldwin,
was the sexy Rear Window, to be honest.
Oh,
See, I
well,
got
yeah.
Rear Window vibes too from the telescope that would just showed up in her apartment. But all those shots of Billy Baldwin, I thought he was in the moon like Ed Harris there for a while. But I guess it's not really the Truman Show. Yeah, he's not just watching one person. I guess it's the entire complex. It's like a fucking game of Clue that he's watching.
Well, I mean, Rear Window I guess you could say plants the seed, and then this one takes it to the next level. We'll get into the voyeurism themes, but yeah, I think that there's basically two very separate like plot lines that drive this. One is the fact that Billy Baldwin owns the building where this is all happening, and he has surveillance cameras on everybody. He watches everything. He is God, and then there is a murder. There's been more than one murder actually in this building, and Sharon Stone finds herself caught up in the middle of this. And the movie kind of plays with your expectations and tries to get you to wonder: is it Tom Berger that killed the people that died, or is it William Baldwin, or is it just someone else? There's like a creepy janitor that shows up at some point. So let's see. Question for you guys have watched the movie, and if anybody watched the movie in the chat, like, I'm curious. How did you guys feel about the murder investigation? Like, were you team Baldwin, team Berenger, team Stone?
I was team. I wanted Eric Roberts instead of Tom Berenger.
We did think it was Eric Roberts for a hot minute when we first saw Tom Berenger in this movie.
And then I was really disappointed it wasn't Eric Roberts and just complained the whole time.
Eric Roberts already has The Dark Knight. I don't think he needs any more modern classics in his filmography. You gotta let Berenger have some. I honestly, okay, slightly dipping into real talk. I don't know Tom Berenger from anything else. Maybe
Inception.
Dude.
Yeah.
What about the Major League movies?
I haven't seen them. Sorry.
We got to keep in mind Julio wasn't born in America.
Yes.
Pretty much after 1995, when you come out of the womb, they just gave you a VHS of Major League in America, and Julio wasn't around for that.
Okay, Charlie Sheen, Spanish descent, whatever.
Charlie Sheen from Platoon on.
We not to bogart you there, Julio, but I was saying we kind of skipped past Sharon Stone being the femme fatale here, the lead. One of the things Julio and I were talking about beforehand was, she definitely found this niche as the sexy lead. I mean, she made a couple of artsy fartsy movies like that. I think it's called Casino. She had that, but it's been a while for me.
King Solomon's Mines.
What for anyone in the chat and everyone else in the room right now? What would you declare as peak Sharon Stone?
Besides King Solomon's Mines, obviously, because we already know that's the number one.
Catwoman.
I totally forgot she was in that.
Yeah, she plays the villain in that one.
Yeah, she has indestructible skin, I think, or doesn't she apply some sort of cream
Something stupid?
I agree with you. I agree with you, Steve. From everything I learned from movies, Total Recall Sharon Stone. Man, fit girls do it for me. I'm sorry.
But she's great in Total Recall, and thank God she got that role, because otherwise her career would have gone down the shitter after King Solomon's Mines.
Well, I mean, speaking of fitness, it seems there's a gym date here in this movie. William Baldwin plays his cards right and gets to take out Sharon Stone to a date and takes her to the gym. Promises there's not going to be any mirrors, and then
he's stretching so aggressively and like grunting while he does these workouts. He's just, and his piercing eyes, like he is a caricature of himself in this movie, and it makes the movie so much better because of it. Like his piercing eyes and his eyebrow acting. I mean, I think he just watched a bunch of Michael Keaton movies on mute to get ready for this with his eyes and just, the very emotive face.
But it's like I told you when we were texting as you were watching the movie, I was like, if you are Billy Baldwin, you already have Alec Baldwin in front of you and Stephen Baldwin behind you. So it's like you have the two extremes already covered.
Behind you.
But you can't be the crazy one and you can't be the alpha one. So you just have to be just the kind of like the approachable one. And that's why you cast, if you grab this movie and you cast Alec Baldwin instead of Billy Baldwin, it's a completely different movie. Cast Stephen Baldwin instead of Billy Baldwin, completely different movie. So that's good casting. You grab the one Baldwin that you can kind of empathize with. As I'm watching this movie, I am wondering if he's the creeper, but I'm also kind of hoping he isn't. And I'm somewhat rooting for him, even though I know he's bad for Sharon Stone in a completely different way.
I'm 100% rooting for him because I got to see a shot of his ass atop of Sharon Stone. So I'm 100% team Billy Baldwin in this movie.
Well, you got that, and then like where he enters frame like fucking Thanos, and you just see his hairy ass coming in, and then he like assaults Sharon Stone, but she's into it. So,
this is
was that the Oscar clip they used? His ass coming into frame. William Baldwin
for him, yes.
Sliver, yeah.
For Sharon Stone, it would be the single tear orgasm.
Thank you so much to Gerald's wife. $50. $50 for the milk, she says. For the milk. Because she's looking at his face after that jerky right now.
We do need more milk.
For the whipped
she
cream.
Really wants the Sliver Blu-ray.
Oh, well, gotta spice up that sex life. Yeah, so the single tear orgasm, I guess, let's talk a little bit about the sex scenes in this movie, because they're I like that there's buildup, right? There's the first thing that we see, the first steamy moment is kind of like, 5-10 minutes into the movie when Sharon Stone just gets in the bathtub, and there's just like a solid 5 minutes of Sharon Stone just masturbating in the bathtub while Billy Baldwin watches from many angles in his cameras and everything. So that's
good directing work. It's not any Lars von Trier bullshit where we focus on labias and flip flaps. It's artsy shots of her foot, and then her head up against the back of the bathtub.
Camera's tracking up her leg, man.
Yes, very tasteful.
It's all build up. It's all build up. It's also you're just so removed because you have your TV screen separating you from it, but also you have Billy Baldwin's TV screen separating you from it. Yes. So, but then when finally Billy Baldwin and Sharon Stone get into it, go on their date at the gym, and then come back and have a couple of beers at his place, then they have sex, and it's not.
Then it's Julio, I'm sorry. I know we're talking about sex here, but this did lead into when they go back to his apartment. So I implore everyone listening to watch this movie for no other reason if not that in 1993, William Baldwin, who owned this entire apartment building, was a video game designer that walked around with T-shirts tucked into his slacks. Because if there's one thing we've learned that a video game designer looks like, it's fucking Billy Baldwin in 1993.
Okay, he does say at some point that he inherited a lot of money from his father.
That is true.
You don't even my biggest regret of this movie, or if there was one thing I would complain about, is we don't get a shot of Billy Baldwin coding and just being like, no, we need the 10-point power sword here. He should have been designing the game that Josh Baskins plays in Big. That should have been the way they tie it all around together.
You know what? Honestly, I've forgotten that he was a video game designer, and I just thought that he was a hacker, because there's a point in the movie where Sharon Stone is at work, and suddenly her work computer, she has nothing to do with video games. She's a book publisher. She's a book editor.
The MS Paint document to her computer.
This was made back in that magical era of the late 80s and 90s of computer movies, where legitimately all you had to be able to do was click a mouse and you were a computer hacker in a movie.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I think it was 4 years, that Sandy Bullock changed the game forever with the net. And then we learned what real hackers are all about.
That's when things got realistic. But this is before we even knew how information traveled from one computer to the other. But yeah, so let's focus. Basically, the centerpiece sex scene is
okay. Back to the sex
at the apartment. Yes, let's get it out of the way, because it's gonna be hanging over our heads if we don't address it right now. Yes. Well, you don't get to see Baldwin ass right away. That's something. This movie, it's not about the male pleasure coming first. This is that first half or so of the sex scene is about Sharon Stone's pleasure, and it's like I said, it culminates in her Oscar clip. When she has the orgasm and she drops a single tear, like the Denzel in Glory single tear, like the Oscar single tear.
Denzel in Glory single tear.
So that's and then once that's that, and it's Sharon Stone has been satisfied, then we get the Baldwin ass shot as he and then they're not done. That's not even they have a brief conversation and then.
I'm sorry. While you were talking about her Oscar scene, I was looking up who won Best Actor at the year before at the Oscars, so would have been presenting the Best Actress award, and it was Al Pacino, Sharon Stone, Sliver.
Hooah. So
that's the first sex scene, and then
it's very
afterwards,
tender.
It is, and then afterwards, she's really Sharon Stone is self-conscious about how she looks, and wants to cover up, and doesn't he take the hammer back out just to like unveil himself to her?
Yes, we don't see it, but the implication is there. He's somewhat covered. You can see everything except his crotch, and then
Okay.
he just there's like a very cool power dynamic where he asks her to come back to bed, and she's like, "No, you come back here," and then they meet in the middle, and that's when you know that they're equals in love and sex. But then there's a third sex scene where the dynamic has altered. I think now that they trust each other. They go out to dinner. This time he doesn't take her to the gym. He takes her to a nice restaurant. He sent her some sexy underwear.
Jared
and
Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, $33.34 just pushed us to $10,750.
See,
that is awesome.
We love you,
Jared
Jared.
wins.
Here we go.
Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese, $22.
Thank you, Jared.
And 34 cents. I think he was trying to get it to $7.39 at the end, but Jared spoiled his fun.
May you guys have
is
a
really
great
trying to get that total
Sexcapades with Bill
right.
Baldwin.
We were talking about the green room before this last year, how we got y'all to 69.69, and that was like our crowning achievement as a podcast.
Man.
Yes, after that.
I took a very unflattering picture of Julio with that one. So
I
I'm pretty
refuse
sure I
to believe
reposted it.
any picture of Julio is unflattering. Look at him.
I mean, it's true.
Just
He is
here you go.
majestic.
Ladies and
After
gentlemen,
you've watched a Billy Baldwin movie, everything is unflattering.
the chat is all like literally the stream is all Julio right now. That's all they can see, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't see anything. All right, where were we?
Admire him.
When
Sex
you
scenes.
flatter
So
me, then I just completely lose
they
track.
they go. There's the scene where
Dinner.
he attacks her in the apartment, and they go to town, and then they go out to dinner, and make this old couple next to them wonder when they lost their passion for life.
Yeah, that's Billy Baldwin. You can say what you want about him. He doesn't dress well. He's kind of he's kind of a sleazeball in the end, but he does know how to kick it up a notch when it comes to dating. He plays games with her. He calls her out. She's trying to be shy, but then he's like, "You like to play games, and my game is that I want to see if you're really wearing the underwear that I sent you." And she tries to let him peek, but he's like, "That's not enough." So eventually, she ends up taking her panties off and handing them over to him. That is, I can't ever hope to match that kind of foreplay. And I don't know if anybody here in the panel has had any experience with, getting things up to 100, up to 11,
Oh,
like
yeah.
as quickly as
I
Billy
do.
Baldwin does.
I do.
Really? Are you
Ashley,
the one
wanna
taking the
fuck?
pan?
Yes. Okay. Boom.
That's
I
not.
was about
that's
to say, it's fitting that we came out of this point because them hitting 10,000 this early into it was the metaphor for Sharon Stone handing her panties over to Billy Baldwin.
That is 100%.
Wow.
Yes, Alex, I love you. Thank you so much. That is
Yes.
beautiful.
I mean, she literally says, "I win." That's she out Sandler.
This is how I win.
Just for that, just for that, Alex, you get invited to the gun show. Justin told me I have to invite people to the gun
My
show.
God.
one day.
A lot more often. I didn't realize how amazing those biceps have been looking, dude.
That's
so
just
I
because
mean,
I'm losing that weight, man. So I get it.
But
Could
dude,
you pass a
they're so
wellness test?
Are all the sexy ladies watching?
You know,
Just-
Alex.
He's going on a lot of gym dates.
Uncut Gems versus
Yes,
Nick
see,
Haskins is
I'm gonna be-
number one feud of the year.
I'm going to be going on that gym date next. That's what it is.
Nick's gonna get
I've heard
so
such
fucking
things.
laid after this. He's gonna get
Yes.
so laid.
So
laid
with
by the sauce.
our erotic thriller Sliver, Julio, we can tell where his mind's at with quarantine and everything because he's focusing on the sex aspect of things.
Well, I'm just trying to get it out of the way.
Whereas, to compliment it, the brilliance of this movie is there's this, I was gonna say raging sex plot, and then also
Raging
alongside it, there's this whodunit murder mystery because the movie starts with some woman being just hurled off the top of this building. And for anyone that has a computer in front of them, go to the Wikipedia page for Sliver and just see how the building looks like a boner above them having sex, and it's amazing. So the whole thing is there's this mystery going on, and then people are kind of falling off, dying in the apartment building. All the while, Sharon Stone and Billy Baldwin are getting their freak on.
And Tom Berenger is like scratching at the door the entire
ladies
time.
and
He's like, "Can I
gentlemen-
play?"
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam from Movie Reviews and 20 Qs, $6.90 donation. Keep saying Sharon Stone. I'm so close. God bless you, Sam.
Love Sam. But yeah, Tom Berenger's name in this movie, I think, is Red Herring. No, it's Jack. I'm sorry.
I love it.
He's always there in the wrong times and whatnot, and makes the world's worst neighbor. Just lets himself. He's like a very uncharming, rapey Kramer. He just lets himself into her apartment constantly. I imagine he's constantly showing up to borrow steak sauce. It seems like he's just a guy that puts steak sauce on burgers,
but not A1 like the store brand.
Oh yeah, the what's Walmart Great Value steak sauce. But yeah, Julio, the whole thing, people are dying left and right, and one of them gets murdered in the stairwell, and Tom Berenger's literally at the scene of it, blood literally on his hands, and he's just like, no idea what you're talking about.
No, even as he's kneeling, he's not even just kneeling next to her, but he's saying, that's what you get. That's what you wanted. It's like he's trying extra hard to make himself look guilty. But that's the beauty of this movie, right? Because the average thriller would make him actually a red herring. They would be like, oh, it's this guy that's an asshole. He's a creeper. He's really pushy when he's trying to date Sharon Stone. He's the actual red flag. It's not that he has red flags around him. He is the red flag. And then the usual thriller would say, oh, he was innocent. We were wrong. He's not the killer. But this movie has the conviction of saying, no, the asshole was a killer all along.
What we're doing.
It swerves your swerve.
Yes.
It's like, you expect, Billy Baldwin to be slaying these people, and then it turns out that it was the guy you thought all along.
Yes. Sometimes, the wrong guy is the wrong guy. That's it. There's no more to it.
The most obvious answer sometimes is.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's also just this whole thing about Sharon Stone's dating life and how she just doesn't have... What the fuck are you doing, Nick?
Nick is doing Hulk Hogan things.
But yeah, Sharon Stone's terrible love life and how she's basically trapped between two guys that are not worth it. You have the obvious red flag, Tom Berenger, who's just... rude from the beginning, never really gets on our good side. Then you have Billy Baldwin, who's kind of a creeper, but also, I guess, in a way charming, and he looks good. But neither of them are right for her. And really, the journey that she takes in this movie is getting to the point where she realizes, neither of these guys are worth it. They're both dangerous in their own way. And that's really, I think that a lot of people that trash this movie are just losing sight of that, of how underneath the sex and underneath the voyeurism. And it's just a very simple story of a woman that was coming out of a 7-year-old bad relationship and found herself in a position where she was trapped between two men that were bad for her. And eventually she made the right choice. She killed one and destroyed the equipment of the other one.
So if listeners of the podcast know, I'm always a big fan of unconventional couples in movies. An example I always make, I'm a big fan of the movie The Invention of Lying. And in that movie, the couple is Ricky Gervais and Jennifer Garner. You wouldn't really think that those two things would go together. What I've learned from Sliver is I'm a bigger fan of a woman being put in a position where the answer seems so unbelievably obvious as to who to choose, but she still has a hard time doing so. Billy Baldwin in 1992, or Dean Martin bloated Tom Berenger over here. I think the answer is fairly obvious, but I applaud the movie and the director Philip Noyce for having the chutzpah to postulate such a ridiculous scenario.
Noyce
some
work.
balls.
From Philip Noyce.
I see what you did there.
Thanks, Julio.
I tried so hard. Before we move on to real talk, I think that there's one more thing that this movie does that I think was great. And honestly, I didn't catch it until the last time. I watched this movie multiple times, unlike I think pretty much everybody here. Well, I had the DVD, the Blu-ray. And also, back when it came out.
An actual Blu-ray?
Yes. Yeah.
Jared Taylor.
Ready to Rumble does not have a Blu-ray, but
Jared
Sliver
Taylor.
does.
$10.76. Jared Taylor just
Instant
pushed us
Amazon
to
purchase.
$10,800, guys.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we're doing well. So before we move on to real talk,
Yeah, we got to talk
you have
about
another
Billy.
point.
I was about to say we got to talk about Billy Baldwin have that production truck in his apartment where he just like he has. So Billy Baldwin has cameras in everyone's apartment. We made the analogy earlier to Ed Harris. And quick one for the chat. Would you rather be watched sleeping by Ed Harris or Billy Baldwin? Who would you rather have watch you sleep?
Billy Baldwin.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris 100%, but he has to wear that beret that he wore in the Truman
Oh
Show,
yeah,
though.
100%.
What is Danielle doing?
What isn't she doing?
Come
So-
on, say hello. Your ass
Production
in the video.
value.
She's flexing her ass. I'm sorry, my
Is
wife
that
is
what
flexing
she's
her ass
doing?
in the video.
Alex.
She looks like the parents from Cow and Chicken. We just see her from the waist up.
She must want to go watch
That's a
Sliver
fucking
with you.
deep cut from our childhood. Alex, do you think Vince Dunn was on site to help him set up all those cameras?
Do what?
Do you think Vince Dunn was on site to help him set up all those cameras?
Oh yeah, and he was, telling him when to cut away and whatnot, and don't linger on the crowd too long.
Zoom in all the time.
in and out.
For all the wrestling fans, I guess.
Yes.
I'm assuming whenever I don't get
Yes.
something, I'm assuming it's wrestling.
100%.
Yeah,
Everything is
Julio
wrestling.
always looks at me like Chris Elliott when I make a wrestling reference. Just that incredulous what? Huh?
Look for the annotations at the bottom of the page.
What?
So Billy Baldwin has his production truck set up. He's filming everyone in the apartment building, and the whole thing is he knows the answers to these murder mysteries the entire time because he has it, on his Betamax or VHS or whatever it is. And
Well, but he can't say anything about them. That's the beauty of it, because
it's a
it would,
catch-22.
right? It would reveal that he has this entire god set of cameras. So that's pretty clever. I don't know if that's in the novel or if they figure that out on the adaptation. But what really I think
We'll
that,
find that out when beaches open back up in Texas. I'll take the novel version of it and read it and report back next year.
well, but the thing is that's the element that I think works so much better in a movie than in a novel, because the idea that he has all these cameras. It's a movie about, eventually about voyeurism, just peeping toms, watching that, but the mere act of watching a movie about it turns you into a peeping tom. You are watching through the movie into those cameras. It's so meta that it just blows your mind when it finally clicks. So that doesn't happen when you're reading a book. When you're reading a book, you're not, even if you have it on your tablet, you're not really looking at a screen watching these people have sex or argue or shaving or crying in their apartments. But here, Baldwin is watching it. He makes Sharon Stone eventually complicit in it, and there's this whole talk. But if you stop and think for a moment, it's also about us, about our obsession with reality TV, about all those cameras represent all your streaming services, all your channel cables.
Yeah.
That's every time that you sit down and you watch, whether it's fiction or reality TV, you're kind of being a voyeur. You're getting off on somebody else suffering, somebody else having a good time, somebody else. You're invading their lives.
One monitor is Bang Bros. One monitor is Brazzers. One is Naughty America. One is Reality Kings.
What's the one about the storage units?
Storage Wars.
Storage Wars.
There you go.
Storage
It would have been great
Wars.
if they did have like one monitor that not much attention's drawn to it, but you see it. It's just this old fat white man that has way too much shit, and like he's always like tripping over things in his apartment. And we get one shot of Billy Baldwin just looking at him in disgust.
Well, that's the beauty of having the Blu-ray. I can actually frame by frame it, because there's so much information in some of those sequences, and you see people taking a shower, people crying because they got diagnosed with cancer. There's just so much
That's
going
why
on.
it was filmed in IMAX. There was a lot to take in.
Yes. Nolan doing second unit for all the
Listen,
IMAX.
I tell you something we need for our own soundboard on the Epic Film Guys podcast. Alex, we need you saying "old fat white man." You say that with
Love
such pizzazz and such class. I swear to God, there's something
Get the
about
gun show
that.
for that one.
I look in the mirror every day. I'm used to saying it.
All right, so we have about 15 minutes left. So I think we should switch into real talk, because I really want to know what people think about this movie.
It's not
Clearly
good.
was a hit.
It's
Oh,
garbage.
come on, man.
Also, I want to point out, Julio, that little
Yes.
thing, that little fake thing you did at the end there, that was way too good. And this movie doesn't deserve that kind of analysis on its themes.
Me and Julio that's happened on our podcast several times, where we get like upset at each other for making a terrible movie sound good. Like we'll finish recording and then like have a dish session about like, why would you say that? It makes it sound like it's worth watching when it's not. And that is right. You're making it sound like, Unfriended or a good movie about social media.
Oh, did you do that on purpose? Because Loisos is here. He hates the Unfriended franchise.
It's a franchise now? I just knew it was one movie.
No, the second one is even better than the first one.
So,
oh God,
here's all the real talk you're gonna need from me, guys.
All right,
let's hear it.
Oh no, you did it.
Wrong! Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job.
Oh my lord.
Stop it, you wing, you fading shut up!
Why the fuck is the cameraman having a seizure through half of this movie? The camera's like swinging around so fast and it's moving. It's zoomed in and panning and tilting so fucking close to everything. You can't see anything that's going on through half of this fucking movie. It's nauseating to watch. Nauseating. And I've had to look at Gerald all weekend.
That and like it's almost
Hurtful.
like Only God Forgives, with like the scenes that rely so much on it's specifically Billy Baldwin's apartment that's like lit like Shanghai. It's just neon lights everywhere, overpowering everything in the scene. And also the fucking I forgot until we started doing this that Martin Landau's in it, because he has like 2 scenes in the beginning, and I'm just like, hell yeah, Martin Landau, Sal Bandini, and then he just fucks off. I guess they had him for 4 hours on set, and that was it.
You know what's worse than him being in this movie? That you called him Sal Bandini. You could have said Bela Lugosi. You could have said the guy from Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Sorry. This is the life I've chosen.
Here's what this movie made me think. But I mean, it made me think because I had to talk about it. And I told Alex I really wanted to bring up this in the real talk part, which is sex scenes in movies. I was like, when do they work? When don't they work?
God in heaven, Justin's got his fucking shirt off.
It was timed perfectly too.
That works.
Hang on.
When does nudity work? When doesn't it work? When does it take you out of the movie?
There you go,
and when
chat.
doesn't?
You're welcome.
Because you could argue that this movie is designed for the sex scenes to work, right? And when you guys were watching it last night, I mean, I'm not saying that they work. I'm just saying that the structure of the movie would imply that there's a reason behind the sex scenes.
But like you listed at the beginning of the movies, like the possible bonus episodes we could do about this, there was that thing in like the shirts off for Sliver.
Not happening over here.
We all doing this now?
There was that like period of time in the early and mid to late 90s where it was just movies that come out just completely based on sex. And I think obviously the poster for this too. And like I said in our previous episode when we talked about doing this, I remember specifically being a little kid. This was one of the boxes at the video store that I would just stare at because it's fucking Sharon Stone's O-Face, and I had no idea how to process that as like a 10-year-old child. It would be like that and the horror movie Zombie with like the decaying face on it. I would just hold them side by side and just not know what to do with myself.
Are these the same thing?
I think I understand your point though. Like sometimes nudity feels really shoehorned in, but this is just a movie made to watch on fucking Cinemax. This is a movie made for sex scenes. So I think it works in the context of what they're trying to make, but it's not like
well, that's the thing. I mean, you are meant to be aroused by these sex sequences.
It's Sharon Stone and William Baldwin. What else would they do? They're not gonna few good men us. They're not gonna provide some really great acting.
God, there's like
Dan, you're muted, homie.
4 of them now.
Oh no, here it is.
No, he's in the green room. He's in the green room talking to the next guest.
The god of podcasting has declothed.
There's just okay, Gerald. We're not gonna do it because we're the guests, but you are there. I mean, I guess you are taking your shirt off.
Yeah, I'll take it off.
Well, there you go. Sometimes all you have to do is ask.
Tarps off, boys. Let's have a Donnybrook.
Take off your pants too. Oh my god, I just want to see it all.
Take off your pants and jacket.
Well,
hey Nick, was Sliver better than Basic Instinct 2?
Sliver was 18 times better than Basic Instinct 2.
Approximately 18 times.
Approximately 18 times. I'm only remembering 18 because that was the number Moxie used earlier in the stream.
You see Sharon Stone's nipple on screen?
Yeah, remember? Like, listen, like the sex scenes, for whatever it's worth, like some of the sex scenes are erotic, and it's like nice erotic thriller kind of sex scenes. The rest of this movie is a bag of fucking donkey dicks. Literally none of it makes sense. And here's the problem. It's so much invested in shooting the sex scenes that it's literally like, I don't know, this movie is 107 minutes. Probably a good 40 minutes of that is nothing but sex scenes. So that means you got to cram all of the plot of this movie into the other hour of it. And it's just, no.
But there is, I also think that they kind of shortchange the most important part of the movie, which is the whole thing with the cameras and all that stuff. You don't really get into it maybe until you're an hour into the movie, and that's really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Sharon Stone and Billy Baldwin using their power of voyeurism for good and then being corrupted by it.
And
They
see,
kind of
here's
toy
why-
with that idea,
why
but then
is
they
she
never really
so
go in on
immediately
it.
okay with it. Like, she's so immediately okay with too many things in this movie. Like, she's
Yes.
so immediately okay with a creepy guy leaving a telescope in her apartment that she doesn't know where it came from. She's so immediately okay with Billy Baldwin when she goes into his apartment, just straight up, just donking his dick into him. You know, she walks into the voyeurism room and she's seeing the tapes of herself and she's seeing all the things that he can see, and she's almost immediately okay with it and like having fun.
She's
with
like, you know, not my first pick, but I'll take it.
Yeah, like immediately, like it takes her about 40 seconds of screen time to go from like the kind of shocked, like horrified face to be like, I'm done with this. I'm good with this.
Well,
Let's
there's
watch the show.
face, you know.
Yeah.
There's face implying that she was there the whole day.
It's only where she was upset, you know, when she saw the tapes of him fucking other people, when she finally was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it wasn't her thing anymore.
So, Julio, I'll definitely let you get your piece. And there's 3 things I want to hit. There wasn't too much interesting trivia. There was, though, that there was an idea for like a reshoot for something to do at the end that would have required Tom Berenger in S&M gear. Like they were gonna reshoot something, and he refused to do it. So the world has been robbed of Tom Berenger in S&M gear. And then also, whoever wrote this screenplay, like, wrote it when they were in 8th grade. Because there's the part where they're making out in the elevator. It's like 13th floor, and she says that's an unlucky number. And then, of course, the last line of the movie, "Get a life," which, you know,
mic drop.
No Country for Old Men. It was not. It wasn't some prophetic ending to this. But that being said, my thoughts on it are it's trash fun, and I do agree. Like Basic Instinct 2, which if you don't know what we're talking about, that's the movie we did for this last year, was torture.
Oh, it's horrible. Oof.
This was so dumb that it was entertaining. I thought like it was so fucking stupid.
We laughed our asses off watching it.
It was like during the restaurant. It was during the restaurant scene where we're just like fucking dying laughing because it's just so awkward.
The shot, like it's like a face model from an N64 game with Billy Baldwin, where you can't even see anything behind him. It's just skin, and his eyebrows look drawn on, and he's doing that. Ooh. That's not good enough. It's fucking awful.
Let's close
like
real
Michael
talk.
Shannon's bastard child.
Let's close real talk by just all of you that have seen the movie. Just give us your sexiest scene pick. Independent of how the movie worked for you, you know that some of the sexy stuff might have worked for you. So you know, just as a recap, you have the sexy tub masturbation, you have the sexy single tier orgasm. You have the sexy underwear exchange in the restaurant. You have the sexy surprise from behind in the apartment.
The old Texas switch.
Yeah. You have the sexy telescope 69. At some point, Sharon Stone's throwing a cocktail party, and so one of her guests notices that if she looks through her telescope, they can see her neighbors from across the other building 69ing.
That party was
when do you see that ever?
To see that.
With all the things you've
Everybody
listed,
wanted
I
to see
can't believe this movie got a theatrical release. Like it's something that should have just been straight to video. But yeah, did people in the group here, did you find anything about this movie legitimately sexy, or was it just like all too forced for you?
No, my problem with it, I mean, and Sharon Stone is sexy as hell. Like, let's not even make any bones about it. She's a very, very attractive actress. But the problem is the camera was moving around so nauseatingly, and then like whenever you would see, like, why were there so many shots of the camera zoomed in on the TV shot, which was so zoomed in, so it's super pixelated. You can't see anything that's fucking going on. Is that a leg? I can't tell. It was like watching, Justin talks about it a lot on our show, watching the scrambled porn channel, where you couldn't see anything that was going on. We got a donation in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Kool-Aid 23. What? I can't see with my shades on. $33 for future immune to cancer. $10,833. Holy
awesome.
Shit.
Thank you so much.
So my sexiest scene is when Sharon Stone struggles to press the power button on the remote, because there's nothing more attractive to me than a woman who has no idea how to work technology.
That's where you see your opportunity.
You're like, oh my God, I can be tech support forever.
I can teach her how to put a UMD in a PSP.
I like when they were at the gym and he was showing her, Billy Baldwin was showing her how to do stretches, and he's behind her. It's like, it's a variation of when you're showing somebody how to golf, but he's just showing her how to move her legs, and then he goes, "You have a really nice ass," and she's like, "Well, now I know you're lying," and he's like, she says, "I don't hear that often," and he says, "Well, the right people have been looking at it." That's just,
Yeah, and he's like
it's
behind
so
her, like
erotic.
Ashley Schaefer, like swiveling her hips and just, yeah, it's fucking absurd. Well, winding down here, the gentleman that did make the great sacrifice to watch Sliver in preparation for this, we do appreciate it. I maintain it's better than what we went through last year, and it's Julio. I guess I didn't get your take on it. To me, it's dumb enough fun. It was stupid, and you could laugh at it.
I actually, it has the same, I have the same nostalgic attachment to it as I do Alien Resurrection, so I can't rate it too low. So I'll give it like 2 stars.
It's a D. It's a solid D.
It's a conversation piece. You can spend
enjoyably bad.
obviously about an hour talking about it and not even scratch the surface.
Yes.
Yeah, if you go
maybe
back,
we scratched the surface pretty well.
if you go back through our history, you can see we've done far worse movies. So this was a lark.
So what I would love is for you two gentlemen to please take a moment and let everyone know where they can find the amazing Contrarians podcast out there on the web.
Bangbros.com.
Before we plug our show, I have a thematic plug. I have a friend of mine, Jocelyn. She's on remission from having breast cancer a couple of years ago. She has a podcast called Breast Cancer is Boring. It is great. I think that anybody that's interested in the subject should listen to it. She basically, when she was first diagnosed, she went online. She was trying to get information about it, and she was having trouble finding something that would just give her like the straight facts. There's a lot of sources that give you a lot of inspirational material, which is great. That's also needed. But she wanted something that was just kind of would tell her, okay, how bad is it going to get? What can I expect? And so then she decided to create it. And now when you listen to her, she's great. She's one of the funniest people I know, one of the best writers I know. And she is, when you listen to the show, you're going to see that that's the case. So it's her tackling a very difficult subject, but in a very like entertaining manner and very honest. So I couldn't think of a better plug to do it than to do it here on the live stream. As far as ours, Alex hit him with our stuff.
wearethecontrarians.com. Again, that's wearethecontrarians.com. We're on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at Contrarian Prime. Also, we have a Facebook page. Julio, I believe it's facebook.com/Contrarian Prime.
Yes, and we have an Instagram, also Contrarian Prime. Yeah, I interact with Justin on Instagram and with Nick on Twitter. So I got all the things covered.
Myself on Twitter at Contrarian Alex, and then Julio is at Ovnio. That's OVNIO. I've recorded that expression so many times I know it by heart. So
yeah. Well, I also run the Contrarian Prime Twitter, so you can.
Yeah, he hasn't given me the keys to the car on that one yet. He knows I'll get too drunk and tweet something wrong. So check us out. Thank you so much for having us, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Already hitting the mark. You still got a fucking other day to go. Great shit. And yeah, thank you so much for having us.
You guys are amazing. Absolutely love the both of you, and you're absolutely wonderful. And Julio, I think, trolls me more than anyone on social media these days. I think he's just a goddamn professional, and my hat is off to you, sir. My tarp was off for you earlier. I don't know why we all decided to take the tarps off, but hey, it is what it is. Tarps off, boys. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm a huge fan of everything that you guys do. And I promised Julio this year, I was like, I will not come in and I will not just ruin it from the get-go. I will play along and actually do the Contrarians thing. Because last year, Basic Instinct 2 was so fucking bad, I could not talk positively about it. I was like, this was garbage, Julio.
Yeah, I'm just glad that you're still awake. I was telling Dan, you looked so beat up last night. I was afraid you're not gonna make it through the movie, no matter how many sex scenes they threw at you. But
I mean, you never know. Them titties will just kind of perk you right
Too many
up.
twists and turns, man. Tom Berenger's a killer. That'll wake you right up. They call this movie the Hobo's Espresso because it wakes you right up.
You know what? The best scene for me in this movie, I should say, the best scene for me was when they were running in the park and Tom Berenger jumps out at Sharon Stone, and the lighting in the scene is so bad, it's his bronzing or whatever he's got is so bad. He looks like he's painted yellow. And shout out to the absolutely amazing Caleb from Netflix and Swill for a $100 donation. Guys, we're only $67 away from $11,000.
I guess we're doing all those bonus episodes, Alex.
Oh my!
Oh, joy.
goodness gracious. Thank you guys
Jade.
so much for being here. We love you.
Thank
Have
you.
an amazing day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, jeez, fine, okay. Tarps off, boys. Tarps off, boys. All right, so we are going to say goodbye, of course, to Julio and Alex from the Contrarians. Please check them out. They are an amazing show and two amazing guys. But we are welcoming in